Zero never works. Hi guys, it's Gloomy Eve, and if you don't already know what this is by looking at the title, this video is about sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is something that I've dealt with for a very long time. In fact, I still deal with it. In fact, I had it the other day, which is why I wanted to make this video. I feel like not a lot of people really understand the gist of sleep paralysis and what it is, and a lot of my friends don't have it whatsoever, so it's not like I could actually talk to them about it. It's like if either I keep it to myself or say it on the internet, because possibly somebody out there has the same thing as me. I'm guessing it probably runs through genetics because my sister and my mom also have this. Shout out to y'all. I feel like this is something that people should talk about and shouldn't ignore, because this is something that can be very scary or be very just flat out weird. I wrote some notes so I could keep track of what I'm saying and what stories I'm telling, because I am telling stories. And yeah, so if you see me looking down, it's because of this. If you don't already know what sleep paralysis is, you can skip to the rest of the video where I actually tell my stories. But if you don't know, then I will tell you right now. Sleep paralysis is a phenomenon during which an individual is unable to move during falling asleep or waking up, but is aware of their surroundings. It is often accompanied by frightening hallucinations to which one is unable to react because of the paralysis. Sleep paralysis poses no immediate risk to those who experience it, though it occasionally occurs significant distress. Episodes can last between several seconds and a few minutes. Basically, the scientific reason for astral projection is just hallucinations. You're not actually coming out of your body. Whereas the spiritual reason to astral projection is when your soul is out of your body. I have 5 stories of what I'm going to tell you. I have plenty of more stories than that, and they will keep going on until I don't have it anymore. The first story, the youngest I can remember, is when I was about 9-10 years old, and I was sleeping on my mom's couch in the living room. So as I was drifting to sleep, I wound up waking up, but in this case it's sleep paralysis. I half woke up and my body was still half asleep. So I remember kind of squinting because your muscles are really tense, you can't really move or whatever. So assuming that, you can't really move your eyes that much either, but I remember trying so hard to open my eyes and try to wake up. And it was really scary, actually. And I had no idea what was going on because I had never experienced this before. And even if I had, I don't remember. So I remember this was kind of creepy, but I remember I heard somebody calling out to my name. This is where the astral projection comes in, or the hallucinations. Basically, I started walking around my living room because I thought I was just sleepwalking or something, or I really didn't know what was going on because I was 10. And I remember hearing my grandma Rose. My grandma Rose passed away when I was about 5 years old, I think. I was confused and kind of scared at the same time. I wound up waking up and nothing really happened after that. The next story is when I first started experimenting in my bed to see like what really like happens when this goes on. This was about, I'd say, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was like in 7th, 8th grade. And I remember sleeping on my bed, and sometimes I fall asleep on my stomach, but this time my hand was like across my chest. I don't know why. It was across like my chest like this, and I was sleeping kind of like on my stomach. And you know when you're in a position for a really long time, when your hand is like cramped or like your leg, it starts to fall asleep, you're basically like losing blood. Your blood circulation is not circulating anymore. I remember waking up from, my little nap or whatever, and I felt like vibrations in my hand because it was asleep, and then all of a sudden I felt vibrations through my body, and that's when I realized I was having sleep paralysis. So me being me, I wanted to see what would happen if I tried to like move my arms. So I tried to get up, but it felt like something was compelling me to not get up, but I still did it anyways. And I wound up actually getting all the way up. I don't remember opening my door, but I'm pretty sure I opened my door, and I opened the other door leading into the basement hallway and going up the steps. And that is as far as I could remember going, and that's really the only thing I remember. And then I just woke up, and I don't know what happened, really. And I didn't remember it until like about a month later, and for some reason I don't know why I didn't remember it, but a month later I just remembered it. So that was me experimenting and stuff. My next story is when my grandma got a new couch, and I was like just sitting on it because, like, you know, it was a new couch. I wanted to, you know, test it out, see how it feels or whatever. And I remember my sister sitting across from me on the love seat. She was sitting there on her computer, and TV was on, and I remember drifting asleep, and I had waken up again, but not fully. And this was when I was trying to open my eyes so hard, and I did actually open half of my eyes because I remember seeing the TV, and it was so blurry. I couldn't make out who was on the TV or what was playing, and I know I could hear it, but I couldn't see. Everything was blurry. It was like not having glasses and you had really bad vision. That's what it looks like. Eventually I woke up, and that was it. Okay, my fourth story. Every year I go to my dad's house in Florida, and this particular day I was feeling kind of tired or whatever, and I decided to take a nap on my sister's bunk bed. And at the time, my brother and my stepsister were playing like with their toys or whatnot, and I wound up falling asleep. And this was kind of like the first scary experience that I had, because when I half woke up and I was still half asleep, I was laying on my back, and I could feel so much pressure on me, and I could not wake up, and I was so terrified that I couldn't breathe at all. I'm pretty sure I had an anxiety attack, but I couldn't breathe, and I remember hyperventilating because I could feel my stomach like this, like expanding and like coming back in, expanding, coming back in, and I was like like I was sleeping. It took me at least a couple seconds for me to wake up, and I jolted back up, and I barely slept that night because it was that scary. Then finally, my last story. This one was the scariest of all, and I say this because I've never had actual hallucinations to the point where I've heard things, and this still gives me goosebumps, like my hairs are sticking up. I was sleeping on my bed, and it was around midnight-ish, 12:30. Again, I half woke up and I was half asleep. Again, I was feeling the pressure compelling me to not get up because I couldn't move. And I felt this was the scariest thing I've ever felt in my life, to be honest. I felt somebody pressing on my chest like this. It didn't feel like actual hands. It felt like claws on me, kind of like. And it was pushing against my chest so hard. And all I heard was, "You're mine." And that freaked me out so much. I didn't even bother trying to open my eyes. I was so scared. And I remember waking up, and as soon as I woke up, I texted my boyfriend because I could not sleep after that. It was so scary to the point where I was actually like shaking. because I had never experienced anything like that in my life, for something to be almost sitting on my chest telling me that you're mine. Since then, I've never experienced anything like that again, but it was really scary, and I don't know how to explain how the feeling is unless you've actually felt it. I have plenty of more stories about sleep paralysis. Every time I fall asleep in school, I know that's not good, you're not supposed to fall asleep in class, but every time I would fall asleep in school, I would have it and I wouldn't be able to wake up. I have a lot of experience with that in school and everything, and I have many more, and I'm sure for a fact that I will always have these experiences for the rest of my life until maybe they can find a cure. I'm not sure if there's a cure, actually. I don't think so. Those were my stories. I hope to make, this kind of content again soon, because on my old YouTube channel I shared with one of my friends, I posted a conspiracy theory video, and that got a lot of views, actually. We only had like 100 subscribers, and the video actually got over 6,000 views, and even to this day, I'm so happy that that has happened, and I'm so thankful that people actually took interest in my video, and I want to eventually recreate that video, because looking back on it, my editing skills were not so great. It wasn't good. That was my experiences about sleep paralysis, and if you guys want me to make another video about this, I certainly will. Just give me a thumbs up so I know. And don't forget to subscribe, and leave a comment below telling me if you've ever had this experience, or if you've never even heard of it. I'll catch you guys later.